Hey guys, I'm a fish guy here doing a video on how to breed sugar gliders. I have two sugar gliders, Zeus and Hera, that I used to own, and they actually had two Joeys, so I wanted to do a video on how to breed them, just kind of pass the information along to everybody. Sugar gliders are usually sexually mature around 8 months to 14 months old. The breeding is pretty much done on its own, so you really don't have to do anything special, just put a male and a female together. But you want to get them from a breeder and make sure they're not related. There's really no need for a breeding box. I never had one. I just had a pouch in my cage, and pretty much they just kind of went in the fleece pouch after breeding and never had a problem. The Joeys are born real small. I can't remember the exact measurement on them, but they are the tiniest little pinky that you'll ever see, and they actually have to crawl to the pouch on the mother, and if they do fall, the mother won't pick them up and breeding starts all over again, and by the time you even realize that there's anything at the bottom of the cage, it's usually too late. So with these guys, they pretty much do most of it on their own. Like I said, 8 to 14 months old is usually the breeding age. I usually let mine hit about a year old. That way I know they're real healthy and ready to go. But the babies are born, they're real cute. When it comes to sexing them, pretty much you're going to look for a pouch on the female. If you take your finger on each side of their belly and slowly and carefully push out to the sides, you'll see an opening. Whereas the male, you're just going to see a fuzzy little sac on them that looks like a growth, but it's definitely not. And if you have a boy, you will see their privates almost look like two worms coming out. I do want to keep this video G-rated, so it does look like two little worms coming out. You don't have a problem if there are two little worms coming out of your glider, and they have the two scent glands, one on the chest, one on the head. Especially if you get wild ones, they're really strong scented. Usually your captive bred ones aren't that bad. They do have kind of like a musky smell to them, so that's definitely the way you can tell the gliders apart. But with the baby joeys, they're only born after 16 days, and like I said, that's when they're real small, but they will stay in the mother's pouch for about 2 to 2.5 months before they kind of emerge, and they'll eat a little bit and then go back in, and they'll stay with the mother until about 4 to 5 months old. Some even 6, depends on your babies. Mine were about 5 months old, and then they were pretty much on their own, and they did kind of hang on to the mother for a little bit while I had to get them out and wean them off. But they will piggyback on the mother's back or the father's back and just kind of ride around the cage. They'll only breed about twice a year. You can do it 3 times a year. I really don't recommend it. It's really tiring for the female, so 2 times a year is usually good. But if you do it 2 times a year, you want to take a break every other year if you can. That way you don't basically, exhaust your female to death, basically, or having problems with birth or complications with the baby taking too much out of them. So you do want to get 2 of them that are unrelated. And like I said, they pretty much do it on their own. The cage that you want is the bigger the better. The flight cage is usually the best one for finches. But if you can build a custom cage, mine was about 4 feet high by about 3 feet wide and 3 feet the other way. So like I said, the bigger the better, the more climbing, driftwood, you can kind of anchor it to the side of the cage, pouches, but feeding them real meaty foods is the best way. It's things high in calcium, yogurt, baby pinkies, fresh fruit, Zupreme parrot food is another good one. It has a lot of good nutrients in it, but the yogurt is definitely important for the female while she's pregnant or taking care of the joe. So if you have any questions, comments, leave it in the comments below. I'll be doing more videos. If you have any questions on breeding sugar gliders, even shoot me an email on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you guys later.